Now, I don't know how many Romanians are watching me. Probably not a lot, because when I started this channel years ago, I never thought that I would make videos about Romania. I just noticed identity politics in the West. It was something that I didn't particularly like. And I started talking about it. And I started talking about movies and video games. And this is what my channel was like. I didn't enjoy seeing censorship rising in the West. I didn't enjoy seeing certain authoritarian tactics that existed in my country during communism, and I was focusing about those. And this is what my channel was about. But today, I actually want to make a video that addresses Romanians, and it's also something that if you're not from Romania, you can still use as words of wisdom, because it seems that this is going to happen in more and more European countries. So, obviously, as some of you know, I usually don't talk about Romanian politics, but recently there was a presidential election here, and it's probably going to be one that goes down in history, because as far as I know, there was no other country in the world, except maybe like one African nation, which decided to completely cancel and redo the presidential election. So you can tell that the tensions are high. A lot of people are very opinionated about this particular election, and the tactic that were used are tactics that I've seen before, almost taken point by point. And these are the tactics of the Democrat Party in the United States. I would think that the people who advised the left-leaning candidate here have at least inspired themselves, have taken notes from the way that Kamala Harris ran her campaign. And the way that Americans run campaigns in a two-party system is incredibly divisive. It's basically vote for me because the other person is a fascist. Vote for me because otherwise democracy will end. Vote for me because the opponent is backed by the Russians. Literally like point by point by point. And so these were the most divisive elections in, I would actually say, Romanian history, the one that I lived through. I'm pretty sure like there was stronger political turmoil, or that there were other political events that were as divisive. But from my personal experience, I haven't seen another presidential race as divisive as this, to the point where people were getting phone calls from family members, and they were told that they have to vote one way or the other, or otherwise they will never speak to them again. I've never heard about that. Maybe after communism fell and we had our first elections, like maybe then it was like it. But I was too young to remember that. So in the other presidential elections, again, like tensions were high, and you have people arguing over the dinner table, but definitely not like this. And so I was browsing the internet a couple of days ago, and I come upon a Reddit post, and it was like a conversation that I would see in the US, where a young person was basically saying that there's nothing they can do in order to persuade their parents from voting differently. Basically, the parents are stuck in their own ways, and they tried logic and reason, and the parent just doesn't budge. They tried everything, and it doesn't work. And apparently, the advice, again, this is on Reddit, the advice that the person gave was that he should tell his parents, he should lie to his parents that unless the correct candidate wins, he is leaving the nation. So basically, the idea is to horrify the parent with the prospect that he may end up being alone when he is old. And this is why I decided to make the video. My message to the few Romanians that watch me is, especially now that the elections are going to be postponed and and there's going to be Christmas coming, and there's going to be the holidays and the New Year, and we are going to have to see our families and get together. My message is, do not allow politics to divide you. Like, it doesn't matter how your parents want to vote. It doesn't matter how you want to vote or how you feel about this. My advice is to try not to bring the topic of elections at the table regardless. Because, take it from me, I lost my mom to cancer recently, and I've lost a lot of relatives, and you never know when it happens. And so it really hurts if you're thinking about the fact that they can be gone and your memory will be spurging out over an election that once it's over, you will probably even forget that it took place. It's definitely not worth it. So when you go to the family dinner, if they're opinionated and they talk about politics, like let them get it off their chest. Let them talk about politics for a while, and then say it's like, all right, but let's talk about something else. Let's see what else we got to talk about. How's the little one? Like just change the conversation. Let them talk a little bit and then change it, and don't bring it up. There's really no point. I'm looking at the United States, right? Everyone was hysterical. Everyone is like, oh, if Trump wins, it's the apocalypse, it's the end of the world. And Trump won, and now no one is talking about it. Now things are back to normal, right? Like, the press is less hysterical. Everyone on the internet is chill. So my point is, like, imagine someone breaking family ties or making enemies during the election period. For what? Like, seriously, for what? There's absolutely no point in it. You're also not going to change the mind of people at the table. Like, by now, people have already made up with whom they're going to vote. It's next to impossible to change someone's mind, and at the end of the day, you're just going to change one vote. Which, again, is not even a given. But the idea of ruining relationships with your relatives, with the people you care about, I don't think that's worth it. Especially, as I mentioned before, that the holidays are coming, right? So, like, you're going to have Christmas, you're going to have New Year's. My advice for people is to calm down. I know most probably won't listen to me, and they're going to do whatever. But take into account that the media wants people to be this agitated. Like, this is actually part of the campaign strategy. It's to get people to be hysterical, right? To cause the hysteria, to get people to act in an irrational manner. Like this is how this type of campaign is tailored. Because there's many ways of running a political campaign, and again, I personally think that this is a little bit foreign for my country. It's just not something that we have been used to. And as such, I would encourage, like, people not to allow themselves to be manipulated into allowing their emotions to run wild. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.